Hi, we're going to talk today about the Shannon Diversity Index. Shannon's Diversity Index is a mathematical measure of species diversity in a community. Diversity indices provide more information about community composition than simply species richness. They also take the species evenness into account. We're going to use an example of trees in a forest, as you see on your screen. We'll count the different types of trees in the forest. We'll use Google Docs to build our equations. And you see I have mine formatted already, but you'll need to create your own. The first thing that we need to do is count the trees of each type. We can see that tree type A has 5 trees like it in this forest sample. And because each of them has 25%, we know that all of them are going to have 5 trees each with a total sample size of 20. So let's go back to our sheet in Google Docs and we'll add in these values and create the sum. Now I'm going to add in 5 for each tree species under the column of count the trees of each species. Species A, B, C, and D each get 5 because of the count. And then I'm going to sum them. I'm going to add them all up by putting equal sign sum, open parenthesis, use my up arrow key once, hold shift and go all the way up to the first count, close my parenthesis and press tab to move to the next cell. Now I'm going to identify the Shannon index variable name for you here, and I use an apostrophe in front of the equal sign so that Google Docs doesn't think I'm trying to write another formula. You see how I go N1, N2, N3. It's getting bigger each time by a number of 1 till I reach the total sum, which is my capital N. So when we see in the formula that H prime equals negative sigma N1 divided by N, the natural log of N1 divided by N, that N1, N sub 1, is your tree species A and the count of the trees of that species. 5 equals N sub 1. And that capital N is what I use to divide by. It's the denominator what I'm using to divide by. And that capital N equals 20. So let's look at the formula. I'm going to open a parenthesis and take N1, that's 5, divided by B6, which is 20, times the natural log, which is ln in Google Docs, and you open a parenthesis, times the same thing, that 5 divided by 20, or N1 divided by capital N. I put a $ in there, as you saw, because when I drag the corner down to copy the formula, it's going to keep referencing row 6 of column B. And at the bottom, once again, I'm going to sum, but this time it's -1 times the sum of using my up arrow key and holding shift to select those. And then I will hit enter. And that -1 is because that's what the formula requires. You see that negative sign in front of the sigma. So you see in this calculation, the Shannon Diversity Index is 1.386. When you are comparing two communities, the community with the higher Shannon Diversity Index is the more diverse community. Your turn. Time for you to use this example and calculate the Shannon Index of the forest sample. You can see that tree species A is 80% of the sample, tree species B is 5%, species C is 5% again, and species D is 10%. So count them, get your sum of the total using the spreadsheet example that we just built, and then use the calculation to determine the Shannon Diversity Index. Good luck, and ask your teacher if you have any questions.